ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another DirtyHotte build video featuring Paragon, the Overprime, and today I will share with you my favorite Murdock carry build as requested in the comments. First of all, a little question. I hope you all like the new intro style. Let me know in the comments if you like it. Anyway, let's go back to topic. So today let's talk a little bit about Murdock. Murdock is a pretty strong carry overall. His Q is pretty strong early on, which allows you to dish out quite some poke damage before your build is completed. And with talking about the build being completed, let's hop right into the cheat sheet, because as you know, every DirtyHotte build comes with a nice little cheat sheet showing the build on one slide. You can also find the full cheat sheet down in the descriptions. So here's the build cheat sheet. A few quick words about the build core. It's a Murdock carry build. It will allow you to pressure, annihilate and dominate the enemy, and you will get to high damage pretty fast and be a constant danger to the enemy team if you use that build. Let's start with the starting items. Pretty straightforward. The Gemstone of Bravery 1 and the rechargeable health ampoule, because as an ADC you should have a support with you who will take care of the warding. And before I show you the legendary items, this is not a set order to get them. It's a bit situational. I will talk about that after I showed you all the 6 legendary items we will use with that build. So the first legendary item I like to use with that build is the Electric Stone. For 2 reasons. It's super cheap with only 2000 gold, and the passive deals magical damage equal to 50% of physical power and 25 bonus magical damage to the target and up to 5 nearby enemies every 4 basic attacks. That helps with wave clearance, the cheapest item you can get, with critical rate and attack speed. Then item number 2 is the Short Sword of Decay, also super cheap with only 2400 gold. It gives physical power, 20% crit rate and 25% attack speed. Passive, dealing physical damage to an enemy hero decreases the enemy hero's healing by 15% for 4 seconds each time, and it stacks up to 3 times. And the reason why we get those 2 cheap critical rate items first is item number 3 actually, Pressured Sword of the Kingdom. That gives you physical power and more critical rate, and the passive increase critical damage by 25% if critical rate is 50% or higher, and with that 3 items we are at 60%, so you get that bonus critical damage. With those 3 items it's basically super fast to get to that passive, so that's why we use them first if the situation and game allows for that. More on that later. Then item number 4, Fanatic's Dessert. It's also pretty cheap. Physical power, even more critical rate and 20% attack speed. Passive grants a shield that absorbs the damage for 3 seconds if the hero's health is below 30%. That's basically the safe UAS legendary. Then we have legendary item number 5, Emergency Treatment. That's actually an awesome pair for Fanatic's Dessert. It's pretty expensive, it's 3200 gold. It gives physical power, attack speed and 15% lifesteal. Passive increases lifesteal by 20% for 5 seconds if the hero's health is 40% or below. So that's a nice pair for Fanatic's Dessert. The blue book gives you 10% lifesteal for only 850 gold, so you might want to get that early depending on the situation. Then item number 6 is basically your starting item, the Gemstone of Bravery. Level it up to tier 3, that's the last thing I would do. Then it's 55 physical power, which is pretty nice, 165 health and mana regen. And I like to keep that because you have no other ways of escape for Murdock, so that's why I usually keep that. So as I said in the beginning, this is not a set order, it depends on the enemy team comp and on your team composition. So going 1, 2, 3 is the fastest way to the Treasured Sword of Kingdom passive. If we only consider legendary, you could also get to that passive if you don't use Short Sword of Decay, but the 15% critical rate item, I don't know if it's blue or even lower, then you get there even faster. But if you only consider legendaries, that's the fastest way to do that. And depending on the enemy team, as I said, and your support, you might want to go 5 and 4, so that's Emergency Treatment and Fanatic's Dessert first, and 1 and 3 afterwards. Or maybe you only want to go Ancient Text of Nata, that's the healing book for 850 gold, which gives 10% lifesteal. And then you go for 1, 3. In the gameplay I will show you and explain the build. I have a Nabash as support, which is pretty nice because that allows me to go for the Electric Stone, Short Sword of Decay and Treasured Sword early on. Pretty easy because I get healed by him pretty nicely most of the time. Anyways, now let's talk a little bit about the skill priority. Skill level priority for me is a target check, so you Q first because that's some really good damage, and it's also tracking, so you don't really have to aim that. Super nice, super easy early poke damage. Just a perfect skill. Next priority, as soon as it's up, ultra precise shot, your ultimate, your snipe. That's awesome to secure kills or support across the map. Then shock bullet, your right mouse button. That's basically the shotgun that knocks back. That's nice if an enemy jungler comes in or somebody else putting pressure on you. so you get some distance in between. Then commence bombardment, you will see that in the gameplay. It's not that strong, but it has its uses, and you will see them in the gameplay, where I will talk a little bit more about that. Let's hop into the gameplay, where I try to give you a nice how-to and explain my thought process and how I approach Murdock. So here's some gameplay. We are in the lane, early phase. I just ping the bush because I know somebody is there, and I want to let my Nabash know that as well. Enemies Decker and Wraith. So let's see how that goes. Decker with her stun and Wraith with his long range is pretty dangerous, so just hide in between your minions if possible. So we get some first poke damage. As always, especially as an ADC or carry, focus on last hitting. So you want to focus on getting gold and getting XP and try to get ahead of your enemy carry. So nothing too crazy there. And as I said in the beginning with the cheat sheet, I have Nabash as a support, which allows me to go into crit damage before even thinking about lifesteal. Nabash is also pretty strong support, helps you stay in lane like forever if you're interested in playing Nabash. I also have a build for Nabash on that channel. Link in the description and also here somewhere in the video. Yeah, just try to get the last hits. I will cut that out quickly. So we're back to base, going for the first item. As I said, electric stone, because it's super cheap. We get the first item on the way to that, and it's back to the lane. So there's just some fighting going on. Nabash pings, so lets me know an enemy is coming. There's Gadget. We get some nice damage in. Nabash is careful, but he heals up nicely. Just fight some with Decker and Wraith, and there's coming our jungler to the support, and we finish off Wraith nicely. That might actually be our mid coming for the help. Anyway, we'll get some more damage on Decker, and then just stay safe, don't overextend, don't get too crazy, and that's where you can use your E. Just get some poke in when they hide at the tower. And it's back to farm up, because I actually don't care about those two. Getting those last hits in, getting some Q damage. There's an enemy howitzer coming in, and that Howie was actually doing insane damage. I have to admit that. He hit me with some stuff, and I was like totally surprised by the damage he did. Now we go for the Prime Spirit, which I guess is the right thing to do, but we do it really bad. I don't know why our jungler gets away later, so the enemy is coming. I just try to scare them away. That's okay. Getting some more damage into the spirit, and as you will see in a few seconds, we totally messed it up, and I will talk a little bit about that one as soon as it happens. So the Earth Spirit is low, it's 1400. We get it even lower. And Decina is our jungler. I don't know why he or she doesn't smite right now, because she gets away through the portal instead of smiting the spirit, which costs us the spirit, and now I'm alone. And I probably die. No, I get away with like one shot. But yeah, sorry for the chat, by the way. So this was unfortunate. I wouldn't even blame the Fae, I would blame our jungler, because it's easy to do, and that's a great move from Nabash. That's what you want your Nabash to do. Like throwing the enemy to your tower, and then you finish them off together. So we're at level 6 now, which means I get my ultimate. I love that little snipe on Murdock. And as you can see, I finished Electric Stone, and you can also see how I get some AoE damage with that, like there with the 67 magic damage. Now I'm out of range, but my whole team is there, and I just wait so I can finish the enemy Decker with a nice snipe. Pretty easy, pretty clean. And it gives us some nice gold. Yeah, you might say I might have stolen the kill, but I'm the ADC, it's important I level up. There's some more fighting going on, and as I said, the Howie is pretty dangerous. Like that was already like deleting 30% of my health. Now I'm at 50. There's Wraith coming as well, so I retreat. No need to die there. I saw Cena, followed by the enemy. Yeah. She gets away, I get away. And I just do some E damage on the lane. So that's where your E really comes in handy. If you're alone, if you have enough mana, just poke your minions, the enemy minions, from a safe distance. That is actually pretty damn close with that Howie. So he gets in some big damage pretty fast. And the minions are at my tower now, but I'm like super low. So here I use the E again, maybe to scare him a little bit away, and that my Nabash arrives. And we are back in the lane trying to push them back. Did I say that Howie was really dangerous? I think I said that a few times. Anyway, let's farm up a little bit more so we stay ahead of the enemy team. It was a pretty tough game, by the way. I have to say, as a team, I would even say the enemy team was better. But I carried hard, so that's that. Later on, when the build is really going crazy. So stay on for that, when the build starts to get crazy. Somewhere around the middle of the gameplay. So our Xena is farming a little bit of the jungle. I don't know, see, our jungler wasn't doing that much support. I see that my Nabash is in trouble. I get around the corner and attack Shinbi. Try to protect him, and I think that works out pretty well. Yeah, here we get some nice crit damage in. And Shinbi is done. Nabash still at 50% health. That was a nice go. And we are back, heading back to our lane. Seth is getting some pressure from Howie. Howie gets attacked by Xena. That's our jungler. And we get some Q damage into Howie. And we clear out the lane. Put some pressure on Gadget's coming in from the side. I eat the bomb, because what should you do about Gadget's bomb? There's just nothing you can do. She's rooted by my attack. She pushes me. I go in with the Q. It's pretty close, but I get out of Howie's ultimate. Finish off Gadget at the same time. Beautiful play. And Seth also makes it out alive. Who would have thought? We already lost our tower in the solo lane. That's unfortunate. So here I see Seth running away from 3 or 4 enemy guys, and I just use my E in that narrow hallway just to give him some time to escape, which works out. That's also something you can do with your E. Back in the lane, getting some gold. I'm at level 9 now. The Q is already maxed. I go for the easy kill, so Gadget, that's a kill of opportunity I saw in the angle of my eye. Go for her, finish her off together with Faye. So here's some more lane play. No, here's like Decker, and Seth is also going in. No, it's Wraith. Some damage in, kill him. And now I didn't look at the minimap because I get surprised by the rest of the enemy team. Decker with a nice cage actually, which captures me by surprise, and then Gadget with their damage. Nothing I could do there. I'm not sure if I should gun for my tower, but I thought they are too close already and I might throw them off by going through that fog wall, which actually didn't happen. Now we are pushing some mid on the enemy team. Howie with the ultimate, I get out of that. Get some nice damage onto the enemy Gadget. I pick her out because she's pretty low and she's done. She manages to get a bomb on me, but I finish her and get out of the fight. So some more Q damage on Wraith. As you can see, he's level 9. I'm level 11, so the plan worked out to stay ahead. And as you see, Short Sword of Decay is also finished. And we are already going for the Treasured Sword. However the full name is, I've just forgot that. And as soon as we get that, we will dish out really big damage. There's some more fighting going on. Clearing out the dual lane. So I try to push to the tower. I see there's fighting going on to my right, but they have it under control. It's a 3v3 and I decide with all the minions there, I go for the enemy tower now and get that tower down. Because we lost all the other lanes already. So at least I want to win my lane. We pushed that pretty nice. So there was some more team fighting going on, and there's Xena trying to run away, get some nice Q damage in on her. And she's done. Another kill in the books. I avoid the red shit on the ground because that does damage, as we know from other games. Did get the Prime Spirit like again, but what should you do? So there's some team fighting going on. Get the snipe in, so Seth can finish off Gadget and escapes through the portal. That leaves Howie alone and he can't use the portal anymore. Faye and I try to capture him. Faye is following him and I was going around and finishing him off, if I remember correctly. So there's some team fighting going on in the mid. Another nice situation where you can use your E just to farm some more minions from a safe distance. So now we go to the Prime Guardian. There's some team fighting going on. I try to flank. Gadget puts down her fence. I go in there, staying close, trying to stay close to Nabash to get the healing. I hate that Gadget mine if it's on me. So we get some nice damage. We finish off Decker. That's their support. I try to stay away from Nabash while he has the mine on him. Now it's gone. There's the Howie ultimate. I wait that out and we follow Howie. I use my stone, offensively finish him off, and now we should be able to go for the Prime Guardian, which we don't do, I think. Oh, we do that! So it's only me and Nabash, but as you can see, if he would have healed me, we should have been able to do that by the two of us, but Shinbi is coming from the side, so we return to base. I've also finished the treasured sword item, so I got more crit damage and are at 60%. No, even more crit rate now, because I also have Fanatic's Dessert finished. And now I think it's time to go for emergency treatment. And as you can see here on that Prime Spirit fight, the damage is already pretty huge right now, and we can delete that pretty quickly. It's a pretty even fight still, going back and forth. Now we're a little bit in the lead, but the enemy has one Prime Spirit more. And we are back again in the mid, farming up some more while we have the opportunity. So the enemy goes for the Prime Guardian. We spotted that. I mark it on the map. We also have a nice ward from our Nabash on, so I go over there. And it's also trying to get some damage in with your E from up there, so they can't reach you. And I just want to scare them away at that moment, so they don't get the Prime Guardian. I don't know if we go for the Prime Guardian. Yes, we go for the Prime Guardian now. I don't know if we make it, but we dish out some good damage. I'm level 14 right now, so that's 2 levels ahead of my enemy, of my jungler. He eats a lot of damage. I don't know where Nabash actually is. Would have healed a little bit. Anyway. So Seth is also there. I guess we finished that one. Yeah. We should get the Prime Guardian some nice damage on the inhib. There's an enemy coming, but the Prime is already too low. Back to base, getting some item. Emergency treatment is complete as well. Now, and you will see that here, like minions heal me up pretty fast. The enemy team is going to the Prime Spirit. I saw that. Charging after them. I hope my team is coming with me. Yeah, their E was basically pretty useless. Anyway. We have to see. I try to find out where the fight is heaviest. But they have it under control. They should be able to flank them from left and right. So I decide to stay and go for the Spirit. With all the items now, like with 4 crit items and the treasured sword and emergency treatment, you're so strong and doing so much damage, and also with the lifesteal, it's pretty easy to do that solo pretty quick. And now I go into the team fight, trying to help with E. I got stuck there because I didn't found my E button. That's on me. That's why you don't use E in close quarters. I don't know why somebody voted for surrender, because it's a pretty even game. We can easily still win that. And yeah, we just have to push a little bit more. So there's Nabash. With his ultimate, I'm going for Wraith. I can't find him in the bush anymore. And there's... Is it Decker? Yeah, it was Shinbi. So I hit her, but Nabash finishes her off. There's the Howie. Pulling his ultimate. I think I got out of that, or I cancelled it. I'm not sure. Just getting the snipe. Just to be annoying. I didn't really expect to kill him. So we have a 2v1 of our team up there. That's nice. And there's Howie. Faye coming from the other side. We are coming from behind. And Faye finishes him off. And it's back to the mid. Now is a good time with 3 of them down to push the inhibitor. And I would say push the inhibitor, and as soon as the Prime Guardian is back, retreat and go for the Guardian. I missed that. Back on the inhibitor. Now we have some Tions on. Yeah, we just finished the inhibitor now, because then the way to the core is open. And now it's time to retreat. I'm not sure, but I think I make a pretty dumb mistake now, or in a few seconds, where I just should have retreated. I cut that out. Because I died there. So we're going for the Prime Guardian again. This time I think it's only me and Nabash. But we see that the rest of the enemies are fighting on the other side of the map. They aren't actually fighting because I think nobody's there. Though, did they fight or did they kill somebody? I don't know. So we know they are safely away. I reposition a bit on the Prime Guardian so I can see the portal so nobody comes through there and surprises me. As you can see, it's crit after crit now. And with the help of Nabash, it's easy to do as a duo. That's also some nice damage on the inhibitors and the cores. And I think now it's end game. I think now it's the bad mistake. Yes, I go there. I get a little bit too greedy there. Decker catches me. It's a 3 versus only me. It wasn't necessary for me to die there. But now it's the end game. So we have 3 enemies down. We have the mid inhibitor down. I also pinged it. It's just like ignore everybody if you can with Nabash. Get the enemy minions out of the way. So you minions push to the core and just go straight for the core. With the damage we do now, just go straight for the core, fire on that and delete it. Before the other guys respawn. So now it's 3v4 and just keep damage on the core. And as you have seen, the core goes down pretty quickly then. It was a nice little game. It was challenging. It wasn't easy. But we won that. And I want to say I did some nice damage, some heavy lifting there. Because it wasn't an easy game. And I hope you enjoyed this build video as always. And now I give it to my outro guy. Thanks for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this little piece of content, and if you want to see more, check the playlist to my left. And if you are more interested in what YouTube algorithm has in petto for you, then check the one below that playlist. If you like my stuff, please leave a like and help Mom's Basement grow. See you next time. DirtyHotte out.